What's up, StokerCon? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Joseph VanBuren, sometimes known in some circles as JVB, and I'm awkward on camera, but here I am, very thankful to be here to get a chance to share some of my weird poetry with you fellow horror lovers. So, shout out to Mondo Mafia. Yeah! Alright, let's get into it. Oh, by the way, I also made a music track. Like, I literally created music for this. So, let's see how this goes. This first one's called You Have Created a Horror Lover. You have created a horror lover. Spawned from the Hudson Valley, New York's Ghost Central, America's most haunted. From native curses to Dutch imps to Revolutionary War spirits to Ichabod, everybody knows the name Crane. The childhood brush with death. Blood of strangers resurrecting my breath, and that's cool. I'll just chill here with all the other spirits. The pain felt firsthand and backhand. No fear of the creature living under my bed when my mother has a monster in hers and 100 more dwelling inside my head. Bullies at school can't scare me. The abandoned asylums and mortuaries, hide and seek in cemeteries, exploring dark woods and dark rooms in the dark corners of my mind, no matter the shadows I find, because of the shadows I find. The trauma of being a teenager, sinking in self-harm, drowning in depression, escape only found in that magical elixir, and in its absence, anxiety, worthless waste. The recently archived reruns, starring a nomadic addict, a troubled troubadour, a hopelessly outnumbered demon hunter who lost his way in the haze just to wake up one night in the back of an ambulance, realizing how uncommon second chances are, let alone third. Now it's time to return to my roots, to the darkness I call truth, to the past lessons learned and the future blessings earned. The facing of my fears, like how Nancy told Freddie he's nothing but shit. The use of my survival skills, just as Jason's final prey never seems to quit. The embrace of balance between pain and pleasure, as if a Cenobite and Hellraiser unlocked the mind's greatest treasure. You crazy, shadowy, cannibalistic bearer of knowledge and wisdom, you have created a horror lover. You thought me one of your mannequins. You thought me one of your mannequins and washed me clean of my crimson stains, a silent doll in your hands again. A frozen figure with damaged grin, a broken frame still life sustains. I crawled from under your mannequins. Escaped the void that I vanished in, the room of bodies and cold remains, the flesh awaiting your hands again. I limped my way to a lavish friend who knows the darkest of arts arcane and told him tales of your mannequins. He whispered words to your bandaged friends who rose and moaned, the sound profane, the life returned to their hands again, which rip your meat in your ravaged end, a feast for victims with life reclaimed. You thought me one of your mannequins, the doll's never in your hands again. Just keeping it real, if I was there alive, would we be drinking together? This is called Stay-at-Home Order. Her tears fall to the rhythm of the governor's announcement. The stay-at-home order will be mandatory for 6 weeks. She watches the press conference, rubbing her sore chin in contemplation, wondering if she and her son could endure quarantine, stuck inside, behind the walls of the tiny apartment, with the abusive brute she used to call a husband. 6 weeks of her precious child being beaten for being a child. 42 days of biting her tongue or feeling the sting. 1,008 hours of crying in the dark, hiding in her own home, in her own skin. Wishing for the strength for fight or flight. 60,480 minutes of imprisonment enforced by law, accompanied by magnified nightmares and the wailing spirits of trauma past and pain yet to come. It has been a lifetime already, but 6 weeks is too long. She and her son cannot wait that long, cannot bear the constant agony, the fathomless fear, dreading chasms of time between painful moments. No, she will not allow these 6 weeks to destroy her, to ruin her child. 3,628,800 seconds to figure out what to do with the body. She loads her gun. Thoughts from the isolation chamber. Sick unto death with that long agony, my vision is hidden within a midnight tapestry. Then the apparition of a recent tragedy. In the blackness, ghastly spirits look back at me, surrounded by silence and stillness. In the lack of stimulation, illness. Nauseating dread, I can't kill this. The void of the unknown, I can't fill this. Emptiness beyond comprehension. The madness of memories tormenting. The cold chill of a tomb unending. That old feeling of doom impending. Is this a cell or hell or pandemonium on earth? Risen from the rubble or wretched rebirth? Humanity's vanity amped by a curse. Consumption, conundrum, vampire's thirst. All right, this is a brand new one from my upcoming book. Hopefully out by the time you see this, called Fear Bites. This piece is called Factory Farm Food. This life is all you know. This claustrophobic crowd you live in, an eternal ocean of people bumping into each other, walking through their own shit, stepping over the corpses. Every day is exactly the same. In a darkened room, you wake up to the ear-piercing sounds of the soul-sucking screams. Somebody help us! I can't breathe! Get me out of here! God, why won't you answer me? The noise never ends. A continuous cacophony you can't quite get acclimated to. A constant reminder that there is no escape. This is the imprisonment you were born into. This is the fate you were thrown into. The perpetual pain of abandonment. The sustaining stench of piss and death. Hope is a distant dream. A shooting star long since fizzled out. You once longed for freedom, you and all your nameless brothers and sisters. Once wondered about a world beyond, a life with a little more light and love. But those thoughts have been draped in darkness, buried in biological waste, swept under the carcasses of the fortunate, the fallen ones whose force-fed fate was mercifully cut short. You trip over a body and wish to be in its place. Your unnaturally enormous legs bulging with growth hormone girth, they only let you walk a few steps before your absurdly large self falls over. Lying in a diseased concoction of filth, tasting feces, crying freely, your voice vanishing in the symphonic suffering that surrounds you. This has been every day you've known since your days began. Until one day, when things finally change. Life starts moving in a different direction. As mechanical poles punch and poke, pushing you and your mutated brethren around in a stale body-filled dark. What is this new form of torment? This stimulus of forceful torture? Or, dare you wonder, this speck of hope? For it seems the human sea is being rerouted. The current moved by machinery, flowing away from the forever nightmare, pouring out of the dungeon you've always known. Is freedom on the horizon? You and your fellow prisoners, shoved to press on by strange metal hands, squeezed into a single file tunnel. Somewhere up ahead, beyond uncertain silhouettes, a light desperately attempts to shine. Your gaze fixed upon the hazy brightness, you continue to move forward, floating down this river of bodies toward the blinding illumination. A cool breeze of fresh air tickles your skin for the first time in your life, as your eyes adjust to another first, sunlight. the beautiful blues of a faraway sky, the comforting warmth of the sun's nourishing rays, a brief glimpse at the awesome beauty of God, taken away seemingly as soon as granted, as the single file line ends in the darkness of the back of the meat truck. 100 helpless, nervous humans, crowded, crushed, and crumpled, tumble out of the trailer and spill into stainless steel pens. Electric prods force conformity. Another single file line as the conveyor belt carries you further into this factory of fear and fresh blood. Old meat stench emanates from within, the screams up ahead saturated with agony. Your stare travels past the whining line and lingers on your upcoming fate. A mechanical claw holds the next victim in place as a piston pushes the spike through his forehead, puncturing brain, creating a few seconds of convulsive limbs before spike pulls out and body goes limp. Your dead brethren is hung by the feet, dangling upside down from slow-moving hooks, moving dreadfully sluggishly toward the next malevolent machine. A large blade makes a calculated incision, then massive robot fingers peel the corpse's skin off, revealing the tissue and sinew beneath. On the assembly line of carcasses, the one you've been watching disappears into an unseen area deeper in this fortress of suffering. But you know where it's going. You know where you all are heading. In this brief moment of clarity, before the totality of your moments cease to be, you understand the unfairness of your existence. You were born and bred for the slaughter. Your life created only for this terrible death. Your body distorted by science to maximize the nutrition you'll provide to those who consume your pieces. Just before that metal claw grabs you, a cancer somewhere inside your polluted cells whispers to you, "You will be avenged." Roots. The seeds were planted when manipulative mouths sprayed xenophobic fear across a neurotic nation into misinformed minds overwhelmed by emptiness, seeking truth and scrolling fake news feeds forever. Parasites bloomed in brains, took control of the nervous systems, made use of anxiety, fight or flight reactions that killed our compassion. Strangling vines of ignorance, contagious hatred went viral, spread across the species, pumped through the veins of weakened hearts, lost souls. Now we live in the shadows of our past resurrected, of our primal disease, our violent roots. The demon within. The demon within. It's crawling under my skin, and it's lit like a flickering pumpkin sick grin. It tugs on my strings while I fumble and sin. It's where suffering and my troubles begin. The only way to alleviate this devastation and the deep pain that forever I am faced with is to give in to the darkest temptation. But that's the very same reason why I feel wasted. And with that old devil I cannot disguise, reflected in fires that burn in my eyes, it's harder to see in my future what lies, or if I'll succumb to this poison's demise. This bottle no genie within it contains, though spirits may spill yet from mortal remains. That demon within, yeah, it's watered by rains of tears from the years of my innermost pain. It cannot be drowned, it can only be slain by flushing its influence down the drain. Another public execution. Another public execution. Another publicized perversion of your childhood. Again, it is someone you know very well, being ripped apart for the amusement of the audience, drawn and quartered in unnatural directions until only an unrecognizable mess remains. Applause as the people ask for more. They paid hard-earned wages to watch your old friends get disfigured and your memories get mangled. with autonomous savagery, rivaling Romans in the Colosseum. They throw their money at the murderers, keeping the bloodthirsty beast fed. The wheels of the death machine stay well oiled, and Hollywood pumps out another shitty remake. I got one more. It's called As the World Burns. As the world burns, we struggle to benefit in the short term. The media and corporations sell us their scares. We try to purchase futures, but we don't even care about the life that connects one soul to the next. We're all children of the earth that we're supposed to protect, yet our intellect seems to evolve for self-profit. We're digging a cosmic grave with no signs of stopping. Governments, yeah, they'll fund industry and war, but without an atmosphere, we work and fight no more. We all die and decompose deep in the earth, becoming fossil fuels for humanity's rebirth, or whatever comes along in a billion years. Mother Nature, she's crying out a billion tears. We have a billion fears, too much anxiety, reflections of what we choose as priority. And we will suffocate in the ashes of all we have earned as the world burns. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, HWA, for doing this, for including me, for pushing horror. Thank you, HWA, for everything you do and for all this. Enjoy StokerCon, y'all. Cheers.